What they refuse to teach you at school. Hello, welcome back to Get Going. Let me ask you a simple question. What was your favorite thing that you loved most in your childhood? More specifically, in school? To be very honest, when I was a child, my favorite thing was removing all my toys and looking into the inner elements, and I really hated to do homework at school. But I was pushed to go with the trend, though I was unpleasant with it, and I did so. This has been the main issue of old-fashioned school systems around the world. In this video, we would discuss what they refuse to teach you at school. Stay tuned with Get Going. Not considering the use of common sense ability. According to Albert Einstein, education is what remains after one has forgotten everything we learned at school. It's a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. The old-fashioned school system has always focused on guiding the students in a particular or a standard method of education. Rather than letting the students think on their own, the schools try to make a molded student who runs behind the existing fields. A school should teach the students to think on their own, to come up with their own solutions for the allocated questions of the study. Maybe the majority would provide the exact answer, which is stated in the planned answer script, but a student with the new outcomes should be highly appreciated. Most of the time, students face the opposite of this, and using common sense has been underrated by the teachers and schools. A student with good memorization will have better scores in exams, but still lack knowledge, because the students are trained to memorize an answer which was provided before. But what should happen is the school should train to think, to develop the ability of thinking. This has been explained by Elon Musk as, "I hate when people confuse education with intelligence. You can have a bachelor's degree and still be an idiot."
So I want to make sure Tesla recruiting does not have anything that says requires university, because that's absurd. But there is a requirement of evidence of exceptional ability. Like, you just can't, if you're trying to do something exceptional, they must have evidence of exceptional ability. I don't consider going to college evidence of exceptional ability.
Negligent of hidden talents. Once Leonardo da Vinci declared, "Just as eating contrary to the inclination is injurious to the health, so study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that is taken in." Every person in the world has a hidden talent deep inside. The student should be forced to identify the hidden talents, not to limit them into the classroom. The parents in the schools should give a hand to believe in themselves. According to Mark Zuckerberg, people can be really smart or have skills that are directly applicable. But if they don't really believe in it, then they're not going to really work hard. What should happen from schools is to teach to believe in their talents.
I think having the flexibility to explore a lot of different things, which you can do when you're in college, which is one of the amazing things about being in college, is you can work on all these hobbies and code a lot of stuff and try a lot of different things. It's this amazing flexibility that I think most people take for granted.
Same teaching pattern for different students with different talents. We all are humans with a limited brain capacity, but the difference is this capacity varies according to each person of the world. A student can be very talented in studies but weak in sports, or vice versa. According to the standard syllabus of a school, a child with unique and different skills will be discouraged. Let me provide you an example. If all the animals are taught to climb a tree and called for a test of climbing trees, no doubt, the monkey would be number one. But what would happen to other animals? Maybe some animals like cats and bears would not fail, but for sure some mammals, such as dogs and elephants, would fail the test. It's your time to think. The old-fashioned school systems do the same. They teach the same thing to different children who are capable of different fields. The schools are forced to be an engineer, to be a doctor, or to become a fixed position, but students might be more talented in music, arts, coding, and sports. In the world, there are plenty of examples, just like Elvis Presley, Bill Gates, Tony Romo, a super football player who had not to get any respect at school. Underrating the value of money. Does any school teach the students to become a businessman with the talents? Does any school teach about money? The only quote we hear about money in school is, "Happiness is not all about money." According to Robert Kiyosaki, money is not the goal. Money has no value. The value comes from the dreams money helps to achieve. Happiness is about achieving our dreams. These dreams should be afforded by money. So it's essential to know the value of money since a child. Children must learn how hard life is. In the common scenario, the poor people always have an excuse. I can't afford it. But the rich people always try to find a way to afford it. This has been explained by Robert Kiyosaki as, if you want to be rich, don't allow yourself the luxury of excuses. The child must be taught to not fortune themselves by providing excuses for hard situations.
What I'm saying is treasonous. It's not that we're treasonous, but we've been lied to. And our school system's complicit in it. That's why there's no financial education in schools. So if you understand that, I would question how much you trusted the school system.
Not being told to accept challenges and risks. Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, once said, life doesn't always present you with the perfect opportunity at the perfect time. Opportunities come when you least expect them, and when you're not ready for them. Rarely are opportunities presented to you in the perfect way, in a nice little box with a yellow bow on top. Opportunities, the good ones, they're messy and confusing and hard to recognize. They're risky, they challenge you. A child should understand this concept from a very young age rather than learning these from society. Taking risks is a fact that is mainly refused at school. All successful people have faced risks in their lives. Once Robert Kiyosaki explained the value of getting risks as successful people take risks knowing that they might fall hard. They might succeed more than they ever dreamed to.
You don't get rich quick. It's harder, it takes courage, it takes time. I failed many times over here. So I recommend to you, start your own business. Start now. Practice. It takes time. You will make mistakes. But it's one of the best experiences because if you're successful and you persevere and you're determined, you will find a freedom and an abundance of wealth.
Why Finland inherits the best education system. There are countries that have deviated from obsolete school systems such as Finland. Finland inherits the world's best education system. They've identified modern solutions for the modern world. Now, let's look into the concepts of their modern education system, what old-fashioned education systems do not consist of. They do not conduct standardized tests. The only expectation of them is a voluntary test for students at the end of an upper secondary school. Apart from that, the children are tested individually by the teacher. Cooperation is highly appreciated rather than competition. They highly follow the saying of Samuel Paranun, real winners do not complete. There's another wonderful technique followed by Finland schools. It would be your and my favorite. Believe me, they start school at a time between 9 a.m. and 9:45 a.m. According to the researches they have understood that starting school in the early morning would drop the students for uninspired and sleepy situations, and it would affect the health of well-being and maturation of the child. The entire school time becomes longer than in other countries, but those consist of many free times. Actually, those are playtimes. These things allow the students to study in a more relaxed atmosphere. Low stress, learn more. These are what should happen all around the world because education is not an experience to feel like in prison. A psychologist, Abhishek Naskar, has declared, let your child see you doing a good deed instead of you telling him or her to do it. The little child shall one day grow up to become a real kind human being. School should be a place where children would find wonderlands. What do you think the best school system is? Haven't subscribed to get going? Click on the bell icon to boost yourself. Also, don't forget to like this video. See you soon from another Get Going video.